Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always, and we're here tonight to set the world on fire like some huts in the California sun. Same thing every week. As soon as I walk into the room, they always ask if my tantabus of a call to arms is finally over. They call out, of course, from the mist under their concrete cages, because, gotta do things right. The only person I ever let out was Susie, though. She's a headbanger, if you get my drift. She's gone now. And now I think I just want to be a good boy, or at least I'm starting to think that. I'm not 100% sure yet. My co my co-host, however, sits gone after years of him telling them, give me shock treatment every day to keep him away from that pinhead girl. You're gonna kill that girl, they told him, but he was addicted and kept saying, oh, I love her so I couldn't. He asks his wardens every day, what's your game? As they make him suffer an overture for the strange life he's destined to live until he goes down to hell again. He keeps his wings of pride as he's the keeper of the nights in his mind until the end of days. Ladies and gentlemen, the music god, CJ motherfucking Blaine.
What up, bro?
And that's right, folks, your musicians are back once again. Of course, due to some news from earlier today, I would be remiss at this point if we didn't give a big rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, who, if it was not for this man, 75% of the music we talk about in this show would probably never exist. So, or at least not in the form we know it, which could be even worse. So, wherever you are, Ozzy, you did your time. You're good. Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, man.
And we might be doing something special on the show for you in the coming weeks. We'll see. I have ideas, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our guests for tonight. Though now that morbid moment's over, please welcome Alan Hollis.
Hallis.
Alice.
Yep.
See, I knew I was going to fuck it up. I knew it.
It's all good.
That's right, folks. Alan is a podcaster, host of Hustling Sideways, a music writer, and owner of breakingandentering.com, which, so much there, that's a full-ass bibliography in the future. But
yeah.
How you doing tonight, Alan?
Good. Very good. Thank you guys for having me on. Yeah. Music writer from Milwaukee and, do a bunch of other stuff on the side, as always.
So, I got to ask, breakingandentering.net, where the hell did you come up with that name?
So, the long story short is we actually were going to be a podcast straight out of high school when I was going into college at Marquette. This is like 2009-ish, so we would have been like real early in the podcast game. And we did do a few episodes before we jumped over to student radio. But we were going to do it out of one of our friends' dorm rooms. And she said, you'll have to call it Breaking and Entering because that's the only way that we would let you in to do your podcast out of our studio or out of our dorm. And so the name stuck. We never actually ended up doing a podcast out of their dorm room. But it was like, it was a cool name. So we kept it. And now it's kind of taken on a life of its own. So we talk about a lot of independent artists and a lot of younger acts. So I guess you could say like they're breaking and entering into the music scene. But like we didn't think that far ahead at the time. It was totally just like, the only way we can do this show is if we, bust into our friend's dorm. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that actually is a funny. That actually is a funny story. And I actually, if that was a podcast I did, I would have the perfect theme song for it. Just saying. Shout out to Blaine Dead Homie. But, but so, what made you want to get in the music business? Like, where the love of music come from?
Honestly, it came from growing up skateboarding. Years and years of skateboarding, like, exposed me to just so much different music, whether it was rock, whether it's hip hop. I grew up listening to a lot of like punk rock early, and then I mean, as everybody else in my generation, we all played the Tony Hawk games and got exposed to hip hop and metal and all the different things along the way. I would say that skate videos too, just watching skateboarding videos, like the soundtrack was totally what got me into so many different types of music. So I ended up producing hip hop from there, like discovering producing hip hop because I didn't have enough people in my neighborhood to play in a band with. So I mean, like it was me and my best friend, and we were in a basement jamming, and that was about it. So then hip hop I could make on my own. So I thought I was going to go to school for music production. That didn't end up really being the case. It was kind of similar, but always kept local music and the Milwaukee music scene at the heart of what I did. So that's how we got there.
Yeah, an interesting road for sure, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, so, and tell me, wait a minute, Milwaukee. Tell me, this was '90s. So tell me you guys were into some Cottonmouth Kings.
I have seen them come through the rave in Milwaukee before. Uh, yeah, I had a cousin that was super into them for sure.
Everybody's got that cousin. I am that cousin.
Yeah.
But hey, as much hate I get in the show for liking them. But actually, CJ, we haven't talked about them yet. I might have to bring them on sometime. But the Look of Doom. But Alan,
Huh?
what?
No, I like the Cottonmouth Kings. They're not a favorite, but there are certain songs. Um, like I would tell you, any new stereo I get, be it in a car or a house or anything, automatically gets tested with the song Chronotron because it just has the sickest bass grooves of any song other than like Bounce by Run DMC. Those are my two go-to songs to test like any speaker's bass response. So, but
There
I
you go.
mean,
It's what you got to do.
there's Cottonmouth is Cottonmouth, They do punk, they do hip hop, they do reggae. So,
and now they're basically non-existent for the last like 5-6 years. But
well, one of them died. So,
oh yeah, I mean, one out of like
hey,
7.
let me put it this way: they gave the world Big B. Good
Yeah,
enough.
There you go.
yeah, true.
I love
And
Big
they
B, bro. That's my
and they yeah, and they help pump out Mad Child and Slain to the American youth more.
yeah,
So,
kind of.
but Alan, what album did you want to bring us, and why'd you want to bring this one?
So today I brought up, and I have the vinyl of it sitting here. The Ramones' second album, Leave Home, is our record for today. Um, honestly, I have a ton of albums I consider like favorite albums. Like for me, NoFX's The War on Terrorism is like one of my favorite. NoFX is my favorite band for sure. But the Ramones were the band that got me into punk rock. And it was stuff that my dad listened to. And I remember picking up this album from a shop on the east side in Milwaukee. And I don't even know why, because like he didn't listen to a ton of vinyl, but he had it. But I remember going into a store and picking up this copy of this record. And it ended up being like my favorite Ramones record. Like when I put a turntable up in my room, that is the one that I gravitated towards. A lot of people love the first album. I feel like the second album by the Ramones is like the one where they like gel the most for sure. They put that thing out in 1977. They put out 2 records in that same year, one in January, one in November. And this is the first one. And it feels like, honestly, like to me, like peak Ramones with the early lineup with Dee Dee still there and with Tommy playing drums for them. So for me, that's the one that is like the like pinnacle of what it is,
Of course. And all right, well, first things first, my co-host face when you mentioned NoFX was priceless. But
Dude, I lived in California, and Alan's gonna laugh at this. I had a college radio show, and they said you can do whatever you want with your radio show. Cool. I'm gonna do a punk show. Apparently there was a misunderstanding of what their definition of punk and what my definition of punk was.
Okay.
They thought I was gonna play Green Day and Good Charlotte and Offspring. I immediately went to Black Flag, Crass, NoFX, going as far as bringing Fat Mike on the show, and it took us all of about 7 minutes to get that phone call. You're canceled. Kill the mics. So
Oh wow.
Fat Mike got my punk show canceled.
Oh my goodness.
So,
What could you have done in
but-
7? I would say with anybody else, what would you could do in 7 minutes that would get you canceled? Fat Mike is definitely somebody who can get you canceled in 7 minutes.
Yeah, like he's one of the coolest people. He is such an intensely nice guy. All image stuff aside and all of the antics that people kind of know him for, he really is just a genuine, super nice guy. And he was so courteous to not just do a phone interview. He came into the studio and it was just, I kind of set out to get the show canceled because the show was from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So I figured it's the middle of the night, college radio, who's really listening? Apparently the president of the university, because
he's up late for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, he personally called and said, "You are canceled. You can't do that. FCC will not allow it." And I was like, "It's college radio. I didn't even know the FCC was involved." But yes, was an FM station. So apparently they were, and there were fines and words were had and feelings were hurt. Not mine, but yes, that was my 7-minute career in college.
Wow.
I managed to play one Black Flag song, one song by Crass, and one song by the Dead Milkmen. And
I was gonna say a 7-minute punk show. You can get like 5 songs in that.
I mean, I played 3 songs. I don't want to say 7 minutes. It was 7 minutes of actual me and Mike talking like this.
Okay.
So not counting the 3 songs that I played, it was 7 minutes of airtime.
Sure.
So, but Henry Rollins is my god. Like Rollins, politically completely opposite ends of the spectrum, but I don't even care. Rollins is just,
pure aggression. Yeah.
Not just aggression, dude. Like I've seen Rollins and heard Rollins say stuff that can literally just move a crowd from left to right, and it can be the funniest thing, and then 30 seconds later can turn around and make a comment about Joe and just completely stop the crowd into utter silence. And he's so smart beyond what people even realize that, politics aside, like I said on the last show, Rollins is just a fucking god to me. Like he's so talented, writing and music and acting and, publishing. And he's a record collector of the greatest, probably one of the greatest record collections of all time, and I just admire the dude for his absolute tenacity to just to be himself,
Yeah, you saw that he's opening up like his own like museum too, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like
just
the
a
guy,
massive record.
I don't know when he sleeps.
Yeah.
He literally, I don't know when he sleeps. Like he just, he's what every punk musician, he's what every musician should strive to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
for sure.
I know CJ has more to say about this than I'm going to. So I'm gonna let CJ.
Oh, go ahead.
You're going to have more to say about this than I am, I'm sure. So I'll let you give your review of the Ramones first.
It's actually pretty short and simple. I mean, the Ramones are, I don't want to say the legacy of punk, but they're one of the 3 bands that are the reason that punk exists for the most part. The Ramones are to punk what Ozzy is to metal. I mean, it's that simple. Like, there is no punk without the Ramones. You may have the English side of it, but pop punk in its entirety doesn't exist without the Ramones. A lot of pop artists, people don't realize, are hugely influenced by the Ramones. Pop
Oh
music
yeah.
in and of itself of the 80s and the 70s, hugely influenced by the Ramones. Whole genres of music that people don't necessarily consider punk are offshoots of punk based on what the Ramones did. The Cure, REM, the B-52s are all offshoots of, punk. Nitzer Ebb, Kraftwerk, uh, you know,
Kraftwerk's fucking weird.
but I'm saying like all of that, that's all offshoots of punk in its own way, of the ethos of punk and how punk was created. And then you had the hardcore scene, CBGBs, Patti Smith. I mean, there's so much, but none of it gets the notoriety or the eyeballs without the Ramones doing what they do, without them doing Rock and Roll High School, without them just being the Ramones. So
Yeah, and without those first 3 albums. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that first one is very simple. Just them on the cover in leather jackets and jeans at a time when everybody had to dress up to be on stage. And just that in itself was like the door to saying, "Hey, look, you can look like us. We don't look like we just, we walked in off the street this way." And that's what it was. And you know what I mean? Like that is to me like what punk rock is to that ability to just like be yourself, do your own damn thing, and like you'll find kids that will find you, right? So
and
yeah.
again, a perfect example of less is more sometimes. AC/DC, 50 years, essentially playing the same song over and over. The Ramones, nothing about the Ramones was complicated. They never reinvented the wheel. 3 chords, rock and roll, telling funny, goofy stories, but it worked for them.
Yeah.
It's multiple examples. Metallica in metal. Metallica's pretty much been playing the same song for 40 years, but it works for them. Sometimes you don't have to be Dream Theater. You don't have to be Rush. You don't have to be Stardust. And I mean, it's okay to be, but you don't have to be technical. You don't have to be complicated. You don't have to have layers and layers. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's just about being abrasive, bombastic, and in your face. And, I mean, that's what the Ramones were, man. I mean, was never supposed to be difficult. It was just supposed to be fun. So,
yeah. And like
anyways,
those records,
actually,
those songs on this record and on like those first few records, they could easily be 50s pop songs.
yes.
You know what I mean? Just with a guitar behind, just a heavy guitar under it. But
Hugely
the melodies are
influenced.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Joey was hugely influenced by doo-wop music. And,
Mm-hmm.
I love doo-wop music. To this day, I love Dion. I love, who put the bump in the bump, shabum, shabum.
Right.
Me first in the gimme gimmies. To me, one of the most brilliant things, because again, Fat Mike and a couple guys got together and said, we're going to play our favorite punk covers, or we're going to play our favorite pop and doo-wop and oldies in a way that we love, and just fucking brilliant, man. Just, whether it's John Denver, Dolly Parton, whatever, man. It's just fun.
Right.
And, it's just what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a juggalo, I can gladly say we all agree with you. But because it is fun. But yeah, see, I told you. I told you it was gonna be longer than mine. Told you. But
I'm sorry. I really didn't have all that much to say, but I kind of
it comes out. I learned by now it comes out naturally out of your mouth without you realizing it does. But yeah, Ramones. I never disliked them. I mean, it's never been my genre of music 100%. I appreciate what it is, and I've heard enough of it to know. I mean, I was kind of pissed that Ayo Let's Go wasn't on this fucking album, but uh, give me
That's on
some
like the
Blitzkrieg
fourth
Bop.
one
It's the first
Yeah,
one. Yeah, it's the first
or the
song.
first one. Okay.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
first thing you hear from them.
give me some Blitzkrieg Bop for God's sake. But
I'm a
mean,
huge fan of the Mondo Bizarro record. I mean, I know most people only know it for Pet Cemetery, but there was something about that record, man, that they kind of took that left turn into hard rock,
Yep.
and it worked for them for that lineup,
Right.
of
Yeah,
of the
exactly. Very
Ramones. It
much.
worked at a time when they were well past their prime, and a lot of people had forgotten about them, and they sort of come out with this record, and it just was a great fun record, but it a little darker. It had that sort of I don't want to say Danzig. It had that sort of Misfits type of vibey to it.
Yeah.
And it was my first year of college, and I played that record so much that it just sort of became one of my favorites by them. And I know a lot of people don't like it as much, but whatever.
I can't. I don't think I've heard it actually, but I mean, my
So when it has
exposure
Pet Cemetery on it,
that doesn't mean shit to me. But
you don't know Pet Cemetery.
If I heard it, I might know it. I just don't know it by
The
name,
movie.
maybe. But
The movie Pet Cemetery
I know.
was I
Oh,
don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
oh,
It was like a heavier version of the Ramones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I know that song, but
Yeah.
see, I wouldn't even recognize those them. But the Ramones were just never my thing. I've always known they existed. It's one of the you hear them everywhere. You hear them on movies and TV shows all the freaking time. I just never got into them. Never was my scene. I mean, if I had a punk radio in college, it would have been playing Offspring. So yeah, and some Cottonmouth Kings. But I mean, fuck Green Day and fuck the other one. But yeah, that's just what it would have been. So I mean, I enjoyed the album. I did. I mean, it was like you said, it's a fast album because all the songs are so short. So it goes by in like a half hour, and you're like, oh, it's over. Okay. The only thing that really drives me nuts about them though is, and they have a distinct sound, which is a great thing in a way, but also is annoying as shit because you can't tell when one song ends and one song begins. Like it's,
Like I said, dude.
I had to be like, wait a minute, they pause for a second. That might be the end of a song. Let me check, and I'm like, yep, okay, end of a song. But it's just like, I don't know. I think of the Ramones. I think of the Ramones, and I think of one of CJ's favorite movies, Accepted. So that's kind of where my mind goes with them.
Do what?
I said I think of Accepted when I think of Ramones, just for that one scene with Justin Long. But
yeah.
I still love that.
To your point too, like what you were saying,
Ask
like
me about my wiener.
to your point though about like you didn't know where one song ends and one song like begins. Like there's some DJ in New York was saying, once the records came in, like you'd play, you'd be like, yo, we got the new Ramones record, we're gonna put it on. And they'd put it on, and then the first song would segue right into the second song, would segue right into the third song. And the guy couldn't get out of the record because he didn't have the structure like, oh, there's like 10 seconds in between songs or whatever to like clearly stop the record. So he would play through like the first 3 songs and eventually just like whipped it off the turntable. It was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So, but that's what the Ramones did. And their live show was like that too. Literally would play as fast as possible. I was just watching some like concert footage of them right before this because, thinking about this era of the band and watching a concert of them on YouTube, and one song's done and they are playing as fast. They're playing faster than what's on the record for sure. And they're jumping around and still being like technically proficient. And then like one song is done and it's boom, right into the next one, boom, right into the next one. Oh, in the course of a half-hour set, like they used to get in trouble because they'd be booked to play an hour and they'd finish their whole set in like 40 minutes because they played everything faster live than they did on the record,
And
So.
Joey wasn't a talker.
No, there was very minimal. I mean, I got a live album back here somewhere that's I just picked up that is 27 songs on it. And it's just a standard size 12-inch record. Like it's literally like So 27 songs in probably 40 minutes. Like you can't get that much space into vinyl, into a 12-inch vinyl. So
That's, I mean, it's,
insane.
which, I mean, I guess that's a great way if you got a lot of songs you just want to turn out fast. But I mean, in this day and age, that just never would fly because you wouldn't be able to get recognition for any of your songs being that fast. But
Yeah.
it's just, it is what it is. But, well,
I don't
what are
know.
your top?
Anal Cunt did pretty well. Well, with 6-second songs. So,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, 7-second songs.
Well, Alan, what were your top 5 tracks off your album?
So top 5. Okay. So I'm gonna go. Do you want me to go 5-1 or 1-5?
We usually go 5-1 to build suspense.
5-1. Okay, that works. I would say number 5 is for sure Carbona Not Glue, because that song actually got them sued because they had to make a version of this record without that song on it because Carbona was a brand name. It's a song about snorting glue. And they were like, no, it's Carbona. It's different. And so they got sued for that. So that automatically puts them in there. That's number 5 for me. Number 4 is Commando. Number 3 is You're Gonna Kill That Girl, because that's like just is a really, really catchy song. Number 2 is Pinhead, because it's like a classic Ramones song and it has the Gabba Gabba Hey chant in it and everything like that. And number 1 is actually Oh, I Love Her So, because that is one, like we said, that talks about like it's like that 50s pop doo-wop thing, but like I don't know. The first lines are, I met her at the Burger King. We fell in love by the soda machine. That could have been a song in the 50s, but it just is, to me, is like what the Ramones were all about entirely,
Yeah.
So that's my 5-1 on that one for sure.
CJ, what are your top 5 on it?
I got I Love Her So is my number 5. You're Gonna Kill the Girl, number 4. That one was actually that was actually one of the songs where the guitar riff was based on a Mama and Papa song.
Mm-hmm.
California Sun is number 3. Pinhead is number 2. But number 1 for me, one that I have continually played as a cover in various bands that I've been in. Susie is a Headbanger. Just a fun song to play, especially when you're in a metal band and you're trying to just to be goofy or standoffish.
For sure.
So, I've played this for years in sort of a almost a Dead Kennedys, Jello Briafa type of way.
Style.
So that's
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. With this album, I couldn't narrow it down to 5 because how the fuck could you? It's hard. I had 3 honorable mentions because they went so fast. Like I had to re-listen to a bunch of them, and I was like, all right, I actually like this one. I actually like this one. But honorable mentions were I Love Her So, because I like the fact that was like 50s pop style. Gimme Shock Treatment. I think I knew that one already. I think I knew that song before I heard this album, so that one's always been a fun one. And What's Your Game was a decent song too. I like the lyrics. But number 5 was California Sun, because I know I've heard that one as well, and that's a classic. Number 4 is Pinhead, because I started thinking of Hellraiser, even though this was pre Hellraiser, I'm sure. And well, I don't know about the book. Maybe
by
not
a few years.
The book, the book, CJ, or the movie?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this came out in 1974, I think.
77. Yeah.
77. So, I mean, the first Pinhead movie was, I think, 86, 87. So,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the book came out in the late 70s though, but I could be wrong.
maybe.
But the guitar on Pinhead's incredible. So, number 3 was Susie's a Headbanger, because I knew I'd like that song for the double entendre with the innuendo in there. But my number 2 was Now I Want to Be a Good Boy, because I like punk songs like that. Kind of remind me of I Want to Be Your Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of remind me of that in a way. And my number one was "You're Gonna Kill That Girl" because that totally reminded me of like a Dead Candies thing. So I was like, that was like Dead Candies, "Kill the Children." So
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it starts off slow and like soft a little bit, and then it immediately becomes a Ramon song in the course of a minute and a half, right, or however long it is. Like there's no song on that record I think that goes over 3 minutes.
mm.
So
Yeah, it's a fast album. Like I literally listened to it as soon as I got into work today, and I was just like, "Dumb, it's so fast." I was like, "It's not even time to go for a cigarette yet. What the fuck?"
yeah,
I'm like, I'd like to have a good album followed by a damn cigarette. Because
yeah.
a good album's like a good lay. So fuck yeah. But well, CJ, what album did you want to bring today? Because
Oh, we're doing mine
yeah,
first.
I'm trying to get to this. I think we're gonna hold the suspense for last. The one that I think is gonna take the longest to go through.
I brought Serenity the last night, mainly because last week we talked about Warman, and like I said, I immediately knew who the singer was.
War Kings,
War Kings, whatever. War Kings, War Men, whatever. I immediately knew who the singer was, and it was just like, you know what? Let's just continue into the good stuff that he does. So I chose Serenity the last night, and I chose that one over Lionheart because Lionheart's a double CD, and it's a little bit more challenging to listen to 19 songs, so
unless it's 19 Ramon songs, but
yeah.
19 Ramon songs is like 30 minutes, so
exactly. But well, before I get into my review of Serenity, what did you think of them, Alan?
So with both these albums that you guys brought, they were like anti-Ramones to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were both longer songs, heavier songs, more technical songs. I think The Last Night was the heavier of the two albums that you guys brought. But this one, I mean, like I'm into it. I definitely found some that I really like in here. And like this one kind of cruises through. Like there's not a lot, it's still not like we're not doing huge 7-minute solos or anything crazy like that. So, but yeah, this is definitely the heavier of the two that I got from you guys. So I dug it for sure.
Let me put this out there. The record that I wanted to bring is not on Spotify.
Okay.
It is on Apple Music. It is on YouTube Music, but not on Spotify. And if I would have had my choice, my first choice for this week, I would have been by a band from St. Louis called The Fuck Off and Dies, and they have a CD called Dear Liver. That would have been my first choice. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Since it's
I mean, I almost picked London Calling by The Clash, but that's like a double album and very long.
Yeah. I might have had to tell you that one's already been brought, but I could be wrong. I'd have to think. Oh no! Wait a minute. No. I don't know. I feel like we've done at least one Clash album, but I can't remember. It's been a while.
That would have been perfect for last week when I brought the new Youngblood record because I don't care what you say, dude. Youngblood is literally like
I told you
he is Joe Strummer and Freddie Mercury combined. Like
I told you I end up liking a little more of his songs off that album. All right, Jesus. But as far as Serenity goes, yeah. So I went into this with high hopes because it was the same singer as War Kings, and I freaking love War Kings, but the problem I have with Serenity, I mean, I liked it. I definitely want to hear Lionheart and the other albums they've done because I need a better, broader perspective of their whole career to really give them a good review. But this one album, I can't say I was like overly impressed. Like it just sounded like another power metal album, and as a power metal lover, that's saying something. There was nothing that really made it stand out immensely. And yeah, his voice is always great, but he didn't have the instruments backing him like he does in War Kings that make it even better, that make it more epic sounding. His band sounded like they were just playing to get paid, basically, and that's all they cared about. Like that's what it seemed like. There wasn't much like oomph or thrill to it. Like it was just here's a song, here's another song, different chord. But I mean, that's basically what it sounded like. And the Christian, like I know that he is as like Christian rock for this band, but the Christian overtones on it got a little bit like to the point where I'm like, I feel like I should be on my knees praying and drinking some wine here. But uh, like all
Yeah.
hail the mighty. Oh,
I always forget that they're a Christian band, and they don't advertise it, but they
it's pretty.
are.
If you listen to the lyrics, it's pretty fucking. It's pretty fucking obvious. But it's. I don't.
Yeah.
I wanted to like them more than I wanted to be more impressed by his album than I was. Honestly, like that's just what it is. Like I wanted to be. I think I set my bar too high when I went to listen to it because I was expecting like something War King esque. Like I was like, all right, he probably came from this awesome ass band and then went to start an even more awesome band. And he definitely went to start a more awesome band. Just this band wasn't as awesome as I thought it would be. So I definitely found some. I found 5 in an honorable mention I like. That wasn't an issue. It's just it's basic power metal, basic fantasy metal. That's all it really is, with highly Christian overtones. My God, but which I
Literally.
can do. I can do Christian rock. I can. I freaking I mean, POD is not bad. ICP is freaking Christian juggler rap, technically, supposedly, I guess. But I can't. I still can't explain that one. I've tried 1,000 times, and I usually can make it work, but it's just hard to explain. But so I can dig the Christian shit, but it's just it was like almost like a Sunday school teacher trying to put together a band. But
That might be a
uh,
little harsh for it. I mean,
well,
yeah,
hey,
I could see where you could get that. Yeah,
there are
Yeah.
some rad Sunday school teachers out there that could probably do this shit. So all
yeah.
they seem to have a good singing voice. But what were your top 5 off the album, CJ? Let me stop my charade of shitting here.
So for me, both versions of Souls and Sins are great. I like it. Number 4 is Invictus. I like that big, bombastic singing style that George does so well. Number 3 is Set the World on Fire. Again, that big, bombastic, singable choruses. Number 2 is the ballad on the record, My Farewell. I love how it starts off with the piano and kind of kicks in. And my favorite song, though, is My Kingdom Comes. It just, it's such a great epic song, I think, for them. And, I know George can be a little heavy-handed, but, the guy's got a PhD, in world history. He's a professor, and he teaches. What he teaches, I found out. I thought he taught world history. He actually teaches historical economics and historical mining techniques.
That sounds like a class you would sleep through.
So literally, like when you brought
War Nights.
Windfall or not Windrose.
Oh, Windrose, yeah.
When they had that song like Dig, 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 that's literally what George teaches is ancient mining techniques. Like I thought he taught world history, but he teaches it is world history, but his emphasis is on ancient economics and ancient mining techniques. And
so he actually teaches a class about we are dwarfs and we will dig a hole.
Yeah, so essentially, and I thought, okay, that was kind of hilarious all Thanksgiving because I talked so much shit about Windrose when you brought it on that. Guy that I liked teaches what fucking Windrose was singing about. So
okay, well, unless I
will give you that one, Jeremy.
I mean, unless he's teaching at Hogwarts, he's not talking about dwarfs mining. But still, I get the similarity. And Windrose sings all about Middle Earth and Tolkien stuff. They freaking love all that crap. But
right.
I shouldn't call it crap. I shouldn't call it crap because I do love Tolkien.
The majority of what George writes is about the Knights Templar. So
yeah, Yeah, he wants some good Night Templar songs. I can suggest some other good ones. But bring Powerwolf into the fucking mix and they'll destroy the shit out of all his songs about the Templar. But Alan, what were your top 5 off the Serenity album?
Top 5 on the Serenity album. So number 5, we're going with Down to Hell. Like the song, just everything about this record to me had like those big epic sounds to me, like coming from punk. I mean, I listen to a fair amount of metal, but I'm not gonna say this is like the most fluent genre for me.
Right.
So yeah, Down to Hell. Number 4, I went with Set the World on Fire. Number 3, I've got Souls and Sins, but not the acoustic one that's at the end there.
Yeah.
So I went with number 3 on that. Number 2, I went Call to Arms, because I like a good song that will close out a record and be strong. And then number 1, I went Invictus. I always like a song that like is in that spot, like second on the record, that can bring you into it, because like your first song, generally you're easing your way into an album. If there's a strong second song, that's when you know, like, okay, I'm gonna like this or not. It's really, where does it go from here? Am I gonna like the rest of this record or not? I think that lives in the second song a lot of times, and I like that one a lot, so I'm going with that.
Okay, well, if you think albums always start off soft, you should go listen to some Lordy and
I mean, not every. I mean, for sure, not every album, but like,
yeah. I mean,
if the first one's a banger and then that second song is shit after it, how am I like? I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what to think about, songs 3 and 4. So it's like a tough spot. Like, you got to have a good second song. So, and I
yeah,
think
I
Invictus
mean,
carries it.
Lordy literally does this one album where the first song is called "Bringing the Balls to Rock" and it just opens with a huge like drum solo, drum roll, like, and it's just like if you've never heard the album before, like, and you put it on your car and turn it up like loud because it's metal, you're gonna be. I literally almost like fell out of the car. I was like, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck that come from?
Yeah.
But yeah, my honorable mention for Serenity was "My Kingdom Comes." That was a good song. See, the way you say that you enjoyed it all because you came from like a punk album, and I am so drowned in this type of metal constantly because it is one of my favorite genres that it has to really blow me the fuck away for me to like praise it to death,
Mm-hmm.
like some other bands we'll talk about today. But my number 5 was "Down to Hell." That was a good fucking song. That was almost War King reminiscent. So my number 4 is "Wings of Pride." That was a good song. "Call to Arms" as well. Really, any song that's actually about like war and fighting in these type of bands is usually pretty good. My number two is Keeper of the Nights because I recognized the Templar influence in the lyrics right away, and I was like, all right, I actually dig the shit out of this. And my number 1, which it set my hopes so fucking high for this album, and then it kind of fucking let me down. But my number 1 was "Set the World on Fire" because it has like that rocky theme. It has that rocky theme in the beginning almost, and it's just like I freaking like I got into that song so hard that I'm like, oh, this album's gonna be awesome. And I got to the rest of it, I was like, God damn you, CJ. But
I'm
it,
sorry.
no,
I thought you would love it. Like I
I
really
thought I was
did.
going to. I thought I was going to, and I totally still plan on checking out everything else he's done with Serenity because I want to hear it all. But I can't call myself a completionist if I don't fucking finish the whole discography. I mean, I'm still trying to get through Sleep Token, even though I'm not really being impressed by them either. Well, until this album I just got to, now I'm starting to get impressed. But the first like 3 albums are shit.
I'm sorry. Sleep Token is the Kenny G of metal, dude. Like, it's just, Sleep Token is a perfect example. Sleep Token is a perfect name for them because they literally put you to sleep. They're just so boring. Like, there's nothing about them that I can.
1, do not give them that credit by fucking comparing them to the great Kenny G. Goddamn no. But
we don't accept Kenny G slander, apparently. All right.
I enjoy a good saxophone, but
And I love that fucking Kenny G's son plays in a deathcore band. Like, that's like the most epic thing ever. Like, and Kenny attends his concerts. Like Scott Ian posted. Yeah, like Scott Ian posted a couple weeks ago of meeting Kenny G at a show because his son wanted to go see The Mantle, which is his son, and Scott was like, he's like, weirdest metal moment ever, standing backstage at a deathcore show, and I meet this dude, and he's standing next to Kenny G, and I was like, nice. I was like,
That's amazing.
And then he tells the whole story of Kenny's son is this phenomenal guitar player, and he is. Like, Kenny's son plays guitar the way Kenny plays saxophone.
Sure.
Which I want to hear the two of them together then, because saxophone with heavy metal guitar is fucking amazing. Ask Dog Fashion Disco.
I actually think Kenny played on one of the songs by The Mantle. I'm almost positive he did. So
actually, Alan, I should ask you this. Okay, because they're kind of a punk band in a way. Have you ever heard of Dog Fashion Disco or Polka Dot Cadaver?
No, but both of those are amazing names, and I need to check those out for sure.
They're kind of
okay.
acid. They're kind of acid jazz punk fusion.
Okay.
I'm
trying to just wrap my brain around the four words that you said together there, but I get it. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
they're my original co-host for the show introduced me to them as one of the first bands he brought on, and they became one of my favorite bands pretty damn fast. They're fucking incredible and unheard of because they don't do much touring and they don't really do much publicity. They literally just do it because they like doing it and they like putting together funny fucking songs. So
okay, I will have to check both of those out. Especially if they've got a little punk influence in their like heavier. I'm sorry, acid jazz fusion.
Yeah, both of those bands have this sort of. They have this ethos of. It's almost like a Queen type ethos in the sense of there's no rules for them.
Sure.
Like they do whatever comes out. So it almost has this. It almost has this, like if Weird Al Yankovic, Queen, and Mr. Bungle went into a room together, that's kind of what Dog Fashion Disco does. Is just this? It's very Mike Patton. Let me put it that way. That's the best way to describe it. It's very Mike Patton. So if you know what I mean by that, if you don't.
I'm gonna check him out and for sure and just see, yeah.
And the fact that you said Mr. Bungle when it actually is one of their influences, but
yeah, like that's why I said it's very Mike Patton. Like if you know anything about Mike Patton, Patton kind of jumps from one thing to the next, and it's always strange, it's always weird, but it's always fucking amazing. Like he's one of the few guys that can do genres so easily.
That's how I feel about like David Byrne from the Talking Heads. Like, can do no wrong for me because he can literally make whatever he wants to make, and people would be like, "But fucking David Byrne made it," and so like immediately like you earn points for just doing that, So okay,
that's why
I'm into it. I'm gonna check him out.
That's the way I am with Devin Townsend because Devin is,
I would say I almost wish I did bring the Dog Fashion Disco for tonight's show, but I don't because of what I did bring. So to get to that, you gave me Ramones, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I have no idea what to bring against these guys. I actually thought Carmel King for a hot second, but I'm like, no. And I looked at 77. I'm like, shit, we've done so many 77 episodes in this podcast. It's not even funny. Like, I'm looking through all the albums that came out that year. I'm like, we've done like fucking a quarter of these. Which I mean, for a year in the 70s, that's a lot of releases. So I'm like, we've done a lot of these. So I'm like, all right, what's something I've been digging the fuck out lately? I'm like, well, he's a music writer. So I'm like, what have I been digging the fuck out lately that that is very complex and he'll probably freaking like find it fun to pull it apart. And I was like,
my original choice.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
all. Just so you know, CJ, we can listen to things on YouTube. I'm fine with that sometimes if I have to.
Okay, well,
like,
I listen to Spotify, and I use YouTube Music. I don't use Spotify, so
I listen at work, so I can listen to things on YouTube if I have to. But I just don't like it because I can't add things to my like list on Spotify then. But whatever, it works either way. But so I'm like, all right, what can I bring? What have I been digging lately that I really wanted to bring to this show and I haven't had a chance yet? And I was like, all right, you know what? I found this band. I follow this singer, Patty Gurdy, who is a hurdy-gurdy player. and I've been following her for like a year and a half now, or 2 years, whatever. And
Keep
she,
talking. I'll be right back.
whenever she appears on a single or something like that, it shows up in my freaking notifications on Spotify. So I found this band because she did a single with them, and I just recently in the last month went through their whole discography, well, the 2 albums they had out at that point, and listened to them, and I'm like, this band is phenomenal. This band is beyond belief, fucking something I've never seen before, and they're from Israel. How many bands can people say they listen to that are from Israel? So I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I gotta bring on Stardust, and I gotta bring on their album Strangers. I would have brought on their new album that came out last week, Souls, but I just I wanted to get this album on because of Patty Gurdy being on it, and because this album is just phenomenally well done, and it had to be talked about. I'm like, you know what? I haven't even listened to Souls myself yet. I plan on doing that tomorrow, but I haven't had a chance to really check out the album myself yet, so I'll save that for a later date. But I'm like, let's bring out Strangers. It's a phenomenal piece of work. I like it a little bit better than the first album, so I'm like, let's bring it on just to see what everybody thinks of it. And lo and behold, CJ's response was the first thing I saw, and I was like, okay, I did good. But Alan, what did you think of Stardust?
So of these two, this one for me is like more of what goes to my brain when I think like modern metal. Longer songs, a little bit more technical than maybe, I thought like honestly, just on pure like punch, like the last night was a little bit more like a heavier record. This one's more technical to me. But like I definitely see what you're saying. There's so much that is happening in this record. It's just like a very dense record in the sense of the amount of things that are happening. You've got some pretty crazy solos, you've got long epic sounding songs, and like power with all of that too. I mean, it's not like it's one you have to listen to and digest a little bit and have a couple listens to, I think, for sure.
Oh, trust me, I listened to it today again, and then watched I watched all their music videos today, but I watched every music video from this album as well because there's a lot of them. And watching the music videos is almost like the best way to understand this band because then you see everything happening like as it's happening, and you kind of get like how many different elements there are to each song, and it's redonkulous. And plus, is the happiest bass player you ever will see in your fucking life. In every clip of every video, he's the biggest, stupidest grin on his face. Like he's just he's so happy just to be playing and to be there, part of it. Like it's all you see on YouTube is comments about that, like the bass player smile. But I found out today that they did a tribute Nightwish concert in Israel back in 2021 or 2021. So which for anybody who's a Nightwish fan, most people don't try to fucking do Nightwish covers because it's not an easy task, and it's not something you're gonna want to fuck up because Nightwish fans will let you hear it. They fucking blew it out of the water. Some of the songs I like the way they did it better than the way that Nightwish did originally. I mean, their version of Ghost Love Score can't beat Nightwish's by any fucking means, but it'll bring you to tears still, just like Nightwish's. Like it's fucking one of the most beautiful songs ever when they do it. And I'm sure, as you realize, they sing with a full chorus behind them on a lot of songs, a full choir. And hearing them do Nightwish live on stage with a full choir behind them, I'm like, why does Nightwish have a full choir behind them when they do fucking live shows? What the fuck? Like, it makes it so much better. It's phenomenal. It's just, Stardust is like one of my new obsessions because I can't get over how good they are and how insanely hot the singer is. Although, but, so CJ, go ahead. I know you want to talk about Stardust.
Stardust is a band I was introduced to because of Adriana. She did a few songs with the singer. Or she did some work with the singer. Vocally, they're very similar. Like if you listen to the Seven Spire stuff and the stuff that Stardust does, they have a very similar style of the high register to the regular register to the low register in kind of that weird timing sometimes. I love Stardust. Now, by far not the first band from Israel. I've dozens of bands from Israel. My favorite being Orphan Land. Uh, you know, great death metal band. And I know saying Israeli death metal is kind of weird, but um, you know, um, I love Stardust. I love that they're so technical. I love that they're all over the place. The key changes and the time changes. The bass player is kind of makes the band, honestly. Like
Yeah.
he throws in like little bass parts at the weirdest, craziest times. And it just really kind of, whether it's through the key changes or the tempo changes in the song, is they're almost segues, like from they'll be playing this way, then bass solo, and they'll switch to this. And I don't want to call it a bass solo, but just sort of like this little bass part. And it's really the way he plays, as a bass player, he's a phenomenal bass player, man. Like
If you watch the music videos, watching his fingering in the videos, that
yeah,
sounds horrible, but
like
watching his fingering is fucking
ridiculously
phenomenal.
um I would not even begin to know where, or I'm sorry, I wouldn't know where to begin to try to play his stuff, because I'm a mediocre bassist at best. Um, I am very much a Ramones style bass player. Keep it to 3 chords. We're good. Get anything above that, and it's going to get messy.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally the same way. Anytime I've ever picked up a bass, to not know chords and just be like, I think this is a melody, and
yeah.
like, sure, we'll make something up. We'll make something. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I always joke
I
that
couldn't
come
do
from
anything that's going on here.
Yeah, I always joke that I come from the unskinny bop school of bass playing.
Simple and easy, and that's all you need.
Yeah, so you can do amazing things with 3 notes, man. If you know how to change them around. But I love this record, man. It's again, their new one is even better. Their new one.
I watched.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to give it away. I'm just saying they pushed the envelope even more.
I've heard the 4 singles they released. I've heard the 4 singles they released from it, and those are phenomenal. So I can't wait to
they
hear
pushed the envelope even further with what they started with this one. So I have nothing but great things to say about them.
And it's amazing because if you actually watch the chorus singers' faces in the backgrounds of the music videos, everybody in that chorus choir is so fucking into it and happy to be there. They are so passionate about the music they're singing.
Yeah,
like it's just phenomenal how much everybody's into it. Nobody looks like they're there just to get a paycheck. Unlike other bands today, but
the fact that people talk endlessly about Ginger and In This Moment and completely ignore Stardust and Seven Spires and a few other bands drives me crazy, because both of those bands are terrible, and I just don't get the obsession with either one.
But it's
like, I get it. Tatiana is fucking hot. Okay, yes, she's a hot Russian, but all she does is just screech like a fucking demon, and it's like,
but so the girls from fucking Butcher Babies are hot as shit too. But guess what? They don't compare to this band in any slight source or way. It's just not a comparison. Like, it's the hotness of the singer does not make a band at all.
Yeah, but the one quit the band, and she's the fucking singer of Lords of Acid now, and that is a major upgrade for me. Like, I was so happy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Butcher Babies. Like, they're good music, but I haven't checked out Lords of Acid yet. But
oh my god, bro, you are not prepared for Lords of Acid.
We shall see. But
I promise you are not prepared for Lords of Acid.
Well, I easily could have ranked this whole fucking album. I tried not to, and in that trying, I have 4 more mentions. but oh well.
You
And
didn't give Alan a chance to say what he
I
thinks about the album.
thought I did.
Oh yeah. Just that it was more technical than the other
Oh
one
yeah,
was.
you did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, I thought Game is time to shine.
You did.
But
But
now we're talking about a band called Lords of Acid, and I also need to see what that is about. Just on
Oh,
name
dude,
alone.
they're like Lords of Acid are a techno band that also do metal, that also do some of the most over the top sexually charged lyrics, but
So-
they're double entendres.
they're electric.
Okay.
They're electric callboy. Okay.
No. So the leader of Lords of Acid is a guy named Praga Khan.
Okay.
And Praga Khan wears one of the masks like the dude from Mad Max.
Okay.
The skull mask.
Sure.
So it's heavy EDM techno music. But the
Okay.
lyrics are like, one of the songs is called My Pussy. And you think that she's singing about, but she's actually singing about her cat.
Okay.
So it has
Okay,
this double
I mean,
entendre of.
I was gonna say I appreciate a good, clever lyric and a good, clever angle on songwriting.
Praga's a fucking. He has one about an LSD acid trip that went wrong. I mean, they're just the craziest band. Their lyrics, their visually everything about Lords of Acid is just over the top. Okay,
Oh, wow.
so just be prepared when you go into Lords of Acid. It is going to hit you from every which way, musically, visually, lyrically. They're just a freaking. They're a mess of 80 styles coming together into this, like
I don't know. A song about an acid trip gone wrong. Somehow a dog fashion disco song's coming to mind. But
yeah, I got a ton of new bands to check out between both
Welcome-
of you guys. So
welcome
yeah.
to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Come with 3 bands, leave with like 50. But
Yeah.
so my first song I mentioned was Huts because that's a fun song. I love the chorus in that song. My next one I mentioned was Tantabus, which I actually had to look up and apparently means nightmares. But Tantabus 2, which I like how the videos for Tantabus 1 and 2 kind of go together. It's cool how they did that. And Her with Red Eyes is. But and the beginning of it sounds like a video game, which is the awesome part. It sounds like It sounds like an old school like Nintendo game for a second or two in the beginning. And then my 2 other mentions were Over and Under, because I love that they do those right after each other. And Under, I like the spoken word parts. Over, I like the rough vocals. I like how she did that. That was a very clever way for them to do like kind of like a dual song. Number 5 was Gone. Once again, just like the Ramones, that there's like a 50s sounding rock style in that song. Like it almost sounds like it could be sung by a 50s band without the guitars, obviously. But they mixed that with like some 80s electro beats, and it's freaking phenomenal. So I enjoyed the hell out of that song. Number 4 was Mist, just overall good song. Number 3 is Addicted, because the piano and guitar combo is incredible throughout the song. And the video is really awesome as well. I love the video for that song. She kind of like takes a version of her from the Tantabis video and like makes her disappear, and like she comes out wearing like all black and everything. It's freaking so sexy. But my number 2 is Concrete Cages. That's the song that got me into this band. And I mean, Patty Gurdy, I keep saying this all the time, is a growing fucking legend. Her with that hurdy-gurdy is one of the greatest, like her voice with that instrument is one of the greatest combinations ever. And ooh, I like that. Okay.
That's Lords of Acid, and that's pretty much.
They will be getting added to my long list of bands to listen to tomorrow. Trust me.
Yeah,
but
so
but
that's your warning for Lords of Acid. That's pretty much what you're gonna get, man. Like,
I know you're talking to Alan. I know you're talking to Alan for that.
Not kids.
This is me.
Yeah,
it's not kid friendly. Let me put it that way.
Got it. All right.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I'm like, you're talking to Alan. You know I'll listen to some of the raunchiest fucking
No,
rap
but
out there.
I'm talking to you because you listen to stuff at work. I'm letting you know it is not
Headphones,
work friendly.
headphones, headphones,
Okay,
buddy.
just make sure they stay plugged in because you
They're
know
they're Bluetooth, thank you. So I'm good. But
that's even worse because somebody. I'm gonna let you do your thing, bro. You do you. Voodoo
okay,
you.
no. Okay, they're not Bluetooth. It's a wireless headset. That's
Okay,
the base
well,
the base connects. So it's trust me, it
nice.
works. No, it never not works. But Concrete Cages, like just that whole song is amazing. The freaking chorus is incredible. Like the actual choir singing in the background does an incredible job in that song, and everything about that song just is mind blowing. I honestly thought it'd be my number one. I thought it would be the whole time I brought the CD. The whole time I listened to the CD, I'm like, Concrete Cages is gonna be number one. I was highly mistaken, but it's just and the video for it is so freaking cool because they start off playing in like these woods, and then like slowly one by one they're just transforming into like a roof on top of a city like during a party, and like it's just the whole way they do their cinematography is freaking amazing. My number one though, Overture for the Estranged. I didn't even really like this song the first time I heard this album. I thought I think I just couldn't focus on the whole song together at that point because it's such a complex melodical piece that blends like four types of music together in one song. There's classical, there's electric, there's heavy metal, and then there's a fourth kind of music I couldn't even really put my finger on. I want to say it's like Israel regional music, if anything, but it's such a good song that it's just once you get through like all 9 minutes of it, it's such a phenomenal put together song that I couldn't get over how good it was. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm like, Overture for the Estranged is a very fitting name for this fucking song because I couldn't think of any other way to describe it. So, I this album blew me away as it did the first time I listened to it, but it blew me away even more second time giving it a go around. So, fuck yeah, glad I brought it. But what were your top five on it, Alan?
Okay, so number 5, we are going Break the Ice again, kind of with that same thing of like, good second song, fits in what it needs to do. Number 4 was Huts. Also like that one just for what it is. 3 is Concrete Cages. I noticed that I also have picked like the shorter songs generally. Number 3 though is Concrete Cages because just super unique, something different. I'm not familiar with Patty Gurdy and interested for sure, and just hearing where that goes from there. So that's 3. Number 2, I almost hit play on Spotify. That would have been bad. Number 2 for me was Addicted, and then number 1 was Tanibus. Tanibus was just stood out for me. I don't know, something about that song was like, again, I think I also gravitate just towards songs at the top of records too, and bands put them there for a reason, right? So that the whole opening of the record is definitely something pretty strong. But yeah, songs 2 and 3, like Break the Ice and Tanibus, were up there for me for sure. So
Break the Ice video is pretty cool too. It's nothing too special, but it's all the videos are
yeah, and
good.
I only listened to it. I didn't watch, so maybe
Oh,
I have to see the clips
I
for
never,
it too.
I never, yeah, I never expect anybody to watch the videos unless they happen to be on YouTube anyway, listening to it. But it's
Right.
just, I had time at work today just to fuck around, so I decided to watch some videos. I never really got a chance to check out any of their videos, and I always wanted to. Besides
Mhm.
Concrete Cages, I had to watch because it's Patty Kirby. Yeah, fucking cutest fucking elf in the world. But CJ, what were your top five for Stardust?
So on this one, my first one is Overture for the Estranged. Immediately, it's that, sort of weird catch-all. It's really, it's a defining thing for them. Like, it shows you right from the start what this band is about. Heavy, funky, or, gothic sounding, or symphonic sounding. I mean, there's all of these things that play, but it sort of lets you know that, okay, big bombastic, metal is what this band is about. Number 4 was Concrete Cages. I know Patty plays a central role to this, but to me, the cerulean pipes at the beginning of that song sort of make the song. That the pipes at the beginning, man, it almost gives it this sort of Celtic type of vibe, and then it switches
That's
to
that's Patty's influence.
Well, I understand that, but a lot of people are going to assume that those cerulean pipes at the beginning is Patty playing the hurdy-gurdy, and it's not. It's their literal cerulean pipes, and then Patty comes in about halfway through them with her playing, and she's incredible. I love the pirate stuff that she does. She does some of the coolest pirate stuff.
Her duos with Alstorm are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Zombies Eat My Pirate Ship is one of the best songs ever.
Yeah. Number 3 is Mist. I like the vibe of that song. Number 2 is Tantabus 2. But for me, the song where they put it all together and really just crush it on this record is the song Over. It's really sort of them at their heaviest. She has them just nasty, deathy vocals, and then she has the lower things, and it's the song when she's singing. I hear Seven Spires. Like it makes me think this could be a Seven Spire song, and I know it's not, and it's cool, but it's really the song that I kind of gravitate to the most on this record. And Over and Under both are great songs. I thought it was funny that they put Under before Over on the track list.
Well, I mean, I prefer to be Under from Over. It's just a more fun night. But that's my top 5. Thank you. Somebody got it. But actually, yeah, okay. If you like punk, Alstorm's another band. Alstorm's kind of like pirate metal, but it's kind of punky in a way too in certain songs.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I have not listened to them super in depth, but
that was a rabbit hole I went down many years ago, and I am so happy I never came out of it. Fucking Scott. Who would have ever thought the 3 words Scottish pirate metal would go together? But
yeah.
Just like Dogfish and Disco, 3 words that shouldn't go together, but they just do, and they work amazingly. So, what can I say?
Not even the first band to do Scottish pirate metal, though. That was the thing. Orden Ogan was doing it for decades before Alestorm came along.
Alestorm fucking mastered it, and they made it like a party theme.
So it's Visions of Atlantis, and they're female.
Visions of Atlantis is. I've heard of their shit. I don't want to say shit. I've heard them. They're good. Actually,
I'm just astounded at the amount of Scottish pirate metal that I'm hearing about now. Right now,
they're not all Scottish, but they are kind of like pirate influence. So
see, that's the thing. It's his Scottish accent that fucking makes it amazing. That's what makes it amazing because he sounds like a pirate. But folks, all 65 of you watching right now, we thank you for coming to tune in. We got to talk to you about 3 albums today, all good albums, some great, some good, but all good albums overall. No real shitty ones, no real shits here. No one dropped a deuce on us tonight, thank God. But we want to thank Alan for coming on because we had a fun time with him, and CJ got to talk punk. So anytime CJ gets to talk punk music to anybody, he's a happy boy. So,
well, thank you guys for having me on too. Seriously, it's awesome, and I have learned so much about so many bands that I'm gonna have to check out for sure. So I got a ton of new music to go check out for sure.
Yeah, definitely check out the Fuck Off and Dies, man. Like their whole gimmick literally is just putting the word "fuck" in all of their songs. Like,
all right, I can get down with that.
Like they do it in some of the funniest, most clever ways. Like they have a song "If You CK," which is about like an ex-girlfriend. They have one about Die Hard. There's literally they've got like 60 songs, and all of them have the F word in the title, you know, and it's like the most. It's so tongue in cheek, but it's so catchy that you would think a band with that name would just be like hardcore punk, but they walk that fine line to sort of be between like what Black Flag did and what like Green Day does.
Okay.
So you know,
All right.
and they're a 3-piece. I mean, they're such a great band, man. You'll laugh your ass off at them, you know.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go, folks. I think we've given out enough recommendations for tonight. God, he's gonna be in a wormhole for weeks. But come back next week, folks, where we already know the albums for next week, and let me tell you, this next week's gonna be just as great a show. I can promise you that right now. So come back. It's a little different theme, but there's a theme, all right.
next
And
week's gonna get deep.
you know,
Next week's gonna be deep.
deeper than Steel Panther gets. But Alan, where can they find you, your website, your podcast, everything you do?
Yeah, the main place for sure is breakingandentering.net is the website. It looks at the entire Milwaukee music scene, not just punk and alternative, but also hip hop. Tons of great music being made in Milwaukee. You can find me everywhere at Alan Hallis on all of the social medias as well too. And then I also work for On Milwaukee, so you can find me writing about music and reviewing shows at onmilwaukee.com too.
Oh, there you go.
Short
And
and sweet.
that's the best way to do it with the outros, man. And Music God, where can they find you? Speaking of short and sweet.
Music God CJ Plain .rocks is the website. It is being updated, so be patient. I know some of the stuff is older. But as I do this web design class I'm currently in, I'm learning new tricks, and we're gonna fancy it up a little bit. You also can find me all over YouTube. What you see on the screen, the loud list and noise reports. Also, the Music God Reacts, if you want to see me react to weird and eclectic music from all over the world. Thrash bands from Pakistan, classical music from Kazakhstan, metal bands from Japan, country bands from Iowa. I got junk from all over. So, yeah, just look up what you see on the screen, and you'll see my ugly ass everywhere.
And if you want to see the prettier side of Monarch Music Musings, be sure to check me and us out, I guess. Any podcatcher. You can also find us on Facebook, being broadcast by Squatchy Largefoot. Good fellow that likes to broadcast our shows. And you can find us on X and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings. The best place to see everything that's ever been done is YouTube. Only place, really. But come back next week. Great show for you. And then a week from Saturday, the final part of the Led Zeppelin bracket. Thank the fucking Lord. 7 parts will be done finally. 235 fucking songs. I am Zeppelined out for a fucking couple years. But come check that out. A couple of returning guests from previous brackets will be there just so they have a chance to be in the wheel and see if they can get the next win. So to choose something that's not Led Zeppelin for the next bracket. Yay! So tune in next Saturday to see that. But until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. And off live.